What in the hell is going on? Now you
I was
know.
worried there for a second.
I was worried there for a second too. I was like, oh, this is not good.
Focus on the growth of your personal brand, and there are many ways to do that. Continually building this brand is priority number one, and then, the real estate clients will come.
Some people would say, oh, well, it was fake it till you make it. And I would say it's face it till you make it, because what you did was you put your face on a brand and really developed that and then used that to get the business. And you are you're such a great example of the next generation of our industry. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of Glennda's Guru. I gotta tell you, I am so excited today. I had the opportunity to meet Aaron. Oh, my stars and stripes. I think it's been like a year this month that we met. So Aaron Grushow.
Yes.
Do you know what? It's so funny because I always want to put an N in it. Why do I want to put an N in it?
I don't know.
Well, I always want to, that's why I stopped. So Aaron and I met about a year ago at an event in LA, an interesting event,
Yes,
to
it
say
was.
the least. And I was so impressed by you that I remember walking away from that event and thinking to myself, wow, the world ahead for you is amazing.
Wow, that means the world. Thank you, Glenda.
I got to tell you. And so, obviously I did a little bit of recon. And how old are you?
I'm 27.
And how long have you been in real estate?
A little over 4.5 years
Okay, so 22, 23
is
is
when I
when you
started.
started?
I started in
No, no,
2019.
no. You were 22
Oh,
or 23.
yes. Yeah. Sorry.
That's
Brain's
okay.
not working at the moment. Yeah, I think I was 22.
You were thinking, man, she is really bad at math. But I bet she can tell you 6% of anything. No, I'm just cutting up. Um, okay, so you were 22, 23 years old when you got into real estate.
Yep.
What was it that you said, I want to be a real estate agent?
Really good question. So my background's in marketing and content creation, which has always been a passion of mine. I was fortunate to have a mother that was an interior designer, still is an interior designer. So I also kind of grew up around the worlds of design, architecture, and luxury homes, which also always fascinated with me. Excuse me. And so when I just graduated college. I was working for a really interesting agency that specialized in creating branded content. We worked with some of the world's leading brands, influencers, celebrities, and I was a digital strategist. But I felt like it was time for me to just apply what I knew to my own venture. I thought, you know what, I'm young. Let's take a risk. Let's do something different. And that's when it sort of hit me that I could really take my skills in regards to content creation and social media strategy and apply it to just about anything. And that anything I decided was going to be luxury real estate or just real estate in general in Los Angeles. I spent a good amount of time researching how agents were leveraging social media and digital presence to grow their personal brands and saw that there weren't a lot of people doing it in the best way possible or in a way that I felt could really make an impact. And so that was that. I decided to get my license and really focus on leveraging social media and content creation to stand out in one of the most saturated industries in probably the most competitive sort of space, Los Angeles, and see where that takes me. And I got to say, I got a little bit lucky, but I definitely have a lot more to learn, but I'm excited to be where I am today, and having had the experience of doing just that has been awesome.
Well, I got to tell you, so I never will forget when I heard Tony Robbins say, luck is where opportunity meets preparation.
Yep.
And I think that what you did was you prepared yourself for an amazing opportunity. And you have really leveraged your social media brand. And now I would assume that the buyer and seller, the consumer, is reaching out to you. And I would say, okay, so you're 27 years old, and you probably have that market cornered. I would all because they're looking at me like she's a dinosaur. Like, I mean, and seriously though, I again I go back to there are so many different ways to do real estate. And what you've done is you've really cornered the market, not only on your age group, but you've also cornered the market on what very savvy business people are starting to understand. And that is the influence and the leverage of social media for the exposure for their home if you have it listed, but also if you're representing the buyer, kind of this celebrity status that you've created with agents and they want to do business with you. So you're getting both sides of the coin. Am I thinking, am I going in the right direction or no?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Again, I'm 27. Home prices in Los Angeles are pretty ridiculous. There aren't a whole lot of people in my, sort of sphere of influence friend group at this age who are buying just yet. They're right on the cusp. There are a few, but I'm definitely sort of like leveraging my audience online, and I am generating leads online. But I think more so the second thing that you said, people are starting to recognize how important it is to have a digital audience, and be able to expose properties to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people online, which is what I've really been focused on. As you can imagine, there aren't a whole lot of luxury home buyers and sellers who are scrolling on TikTok all day. But when I do go to those listing appointments, one of my biggest selling points is the fact that I do have such an incredible audience. If you're a real estate agent and you're on social media, odds are you follow me, but I also am direct to consumers. There are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people who watch my content, not just locally, not just in the United States, but globally. And I can definitely share that fact with sellers who oftentimes resonate with it. So that's definitely helped. In addition to that, just the social proof. Being able to go onto my profiles online and just see the types of engagement and views I'm getting, and that automatically sort of sparks that trust building process. Again, I use the word social proof. I really like that word, that phrase. It really, I think, resonates with people and can sort of begin the most important, stage of building that relationship, which is the trust building. They see that I have an audience. People do watch my content and engage with me. So why shouldn't they be interested in working with me?
Well, and you make a good point because you and I both know that I can go out and I can buy 100,000 followers. I can buy 1 million followers. And it's really the engagement that you have that is the true sign of social proof. And I always say that conversion happens in conversation, and conversation happens in the comments and in the DMs. And there's one account that I follow almost as an experiment, kind of, where you can tell that they bought the followers, you can tell that they bought the likes, you can tell that they bought the comments. And so when I'm sitting down like you with the seller, I always say, let me show you what my engagement is on my social media and how that helps you. And your ability to articulate that just now, it's not only locally, it's not only nationally, it's globally. And in LA, that is a huge word. That is
Yes.
a catchphrase because in my head, and you tell me if I'm wrong, I think that everybody in LA thinks that somebody from out of the country is going to come and buy their house.
Yes, for sure. And I actually just listed a property in Montecito. It's, largest state, 44 million. And their biggest sort of point of finding the right agent was their ability to globally market their property because they didn't think someone locally was going to come purchase it. They wanted that global sort of presence, and that was when I was able to come in and pitch my ability to do just that. And they loved what they heard, and we got it done. We got it signed. So I'm really happy about that listing, and that was one of the biggest sort of success moments of my career being able to really, I guess, prove to myself that there is value in what I've built over the past few years, and people see that. So very happy about that. But absolutely, you're right. Especially in Los Angeles, everyone wants to make their home famous. Everyone wants that, large exposure. Now, of course, there are people who prefer to be a bit more private and don't want the whole, shebang. But you and I both know the more eyes we get on a property, the more likely we're able to sell it and get a number that our clients are going to be happy with. So for me, it's all about the eyeballs.
I love it. And you went up there and you got that listing, and you can show people everything, but it is that connection. So, I would say don't sell yourself short. You must have done a really great job at not only selling your abilities, but selling yourself. That's what I remember that night that I met you. I was so impressed just with the way that you communicated, your cadence of communication, where they were when you were talking with them. And that's a very honed skill over many years. So to see
Thank you,
someone
Glennda.
at 27 years old be able to really kind of bite into the conversation and then take it somewhere, and take it somewhere where the listener, the audience wants to go. That's a real art and a real craft. I love that. So let me ask you a question. Um, so how far is Montecito from uh LA?
Los Angeles,
Yeah.
depending on traffic, which is always the the answer to any distance question in LA. I'd say it's roughly about an hour and a half to hour and 45 away. So it's just by Santa Barbara County,
Okay.
in Santa Barbara County.
I know this. I've been to Montecito. I went on a wine tour many years ago up there. But and the reason and I asked that and I asked that for a very specific reason. And the reason I asked it was because that goes to show you that the seller of that property realized that they needed to get out of their little tiny, you know, circle of people, because they had like me, I kind of figure out who is the buyer avatar. So like I'm
Hmm.
going to list 123 Banana Street, this is the buyer avatar. So it sounds like that your seller said, okay, probably the person who's going to buy my house is not coming from down the street, they're going to come from outside of the area. So taking an agent who is from outside of the area is not a stretch, and working with an agent that has this much exposure and can give me this much exposure. I mean it's a great combination. I love it. I love it. Okay, so what are you most excited about right now? If I said to you, Aaron, what tell me, what does the future look like? What does 2024 and beyond look like for you? What are you most excited about?
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, I feel like I'm only scratching the surface. Being 4.5 years into this business, I know I have so much more to learn, so much more to experience. So I'm just excited about, the evolution of my business every single day, every single week, every single month and year. I am very excited with the direction I'm taking my content. Again, I feel like I'm just at the beginning, so in different types of ways I can provide value to my audience. I think the first few years of me creating content, I wasn't necessarily providing a lot of value. To a lot of people, it was mostly just entertainment. I would go and showcase luxury homes, which people obviously love. But I want to start to educate and help other agents and other young entrepreneurs and business people grow. And I think it starts with, yeah, creating my own content that can help facilitate that. So I'm really excited about creating value driven content. And I'm really excited about translating that content into more business growth in the real estate world. So yeah, I think like we're all just scratching the surface. I still think social media is such a young tool for all of us to be leveraging and utilizing. Um, and so I'm just excited to see where sort of the evolution of content goes as well, and hope I can just follow along and leverage it to my best ability as well.
So if y'all are wondering, so we do this on Riverside. We do this
Oh,
on Riverside. We film this on Riverside. And in some of the edits, you'll see us side by side. In some of the other edits, it'll be just Aaron or it'll be just me. And sometimes it will be top and bottom. And so when Aaron is talking, I am muted and coughing my lungs out over here because it is ragweed season in Atlanta. And I have allergies like you cannot believe. So if Aaron, when he was talking, was like, "What in the hell is going on? Is she going to
oh,
choke to death?" Now you
I was
know.
worried there for a second.
I was worried there for a second too. I was like, "Holy shit, this is not good." But see, yeah, and as bad as it sounds, this is reality, and I think that that's one thing that people, enjoy about your content, enjoy about my content, I hope, is that we are really reality based
Totally.
in real estate. And I think that that is so critical. Now, you talked a little bit about you are just scratching the surface and you talk about building your business. I would almost argue with you that you are your brand.
Right.
I mean, do you even need the GRU? I mean, it really is like, I think about it and I'm just like, isn't it just like the Aaron show? I mean, you just don't even need it. And you're building your brand like exponentially. And do you think that that part of the business, how critical do you think that is?
Yeah, I think it's extremely critical. By the way, I didn't mention how impressed I am with your content and how quickly you've, grown your brand online. I watch your videos every day. I really aspire to, grow a community the way that you do. It's so impressive, but you're a testament to how important it really is to focus on the growth of your personal brand. And there are many ways to do that, but I think we've both found that content creation is certainly one of the most effective. So yeah, I think all real estate agents, all service-based businesses really could benefit from the growth of personal branding through content creation and just digital presence. So I think I've gone a little bit backwards. I know a lot of real estate agents really just started with, hitting the pavement, prospecting, getting the clientele, and kind of growing their brands from there. I kind of worked to my strengths. I knew that I could, focus on sort of building the brand first in a sense, or prioritizing the brand building in the beginning. And then from there, sort of leveraging that to find the business. So I think I've done it a bit different than most people, but yeah, creating my personal brand through content creation has always been priority number one. And it's a long-term play. Like I said, I'm just scratching the surface, and I think continually building this brand is priority number one, and then the real estate clients will come through multiple efforts. But once they do see that I've built this personal brand and I have established that social proof, it's just going to be more easy to, yeah, I guess find people who want to work with me.
Well, there are a lot of naysayers about our content creation. I hear it every day about, oh, does that video stuff really work? I'm not good on video. I'm not doing that. And you take somebody who's been in the business since Jesus was a baby. You take someone like you who is 4 years in and who really went heavy. Some people would say, oh, well, it was fake it till you make it. And I would argue that. And I would say it's face it till you make it, because what you did was you put your face on a brand and really developed that and then used that to get the business. And I admire the hell out of it. I like anybody who hustles. Those are my people. And I think that you are not looking for anything to be handed to you. You're not trying to fake it. You really are learning it till you earn it. And you are just, I mean, you're such a great example of the next generation of our industry. And I don't know how I was lucky enough to connect with you at that party. I almost didn't go, and that was such a
Me
crazy
too,
weekend.
by the way. I almost didn't make it at all. Yeah.
Yeah, I almost didn't go, and I just think how being in that one place at the right time, and I had the opportunity to cross paths with you. I would love to do more with you. I'd love to have you on an episode of Glitter and Gay, my podcast with Tyler Whitman. Um, I
Amazing. Would
think
love
that
that.
I think that Tyler would absolutely enjoy really getting to know you. We are talking about doing some live episodes when we're in New York at Inman. And if you were going to be in New York at Inman, I would love for you to come as a guest on Glitter and Gay. So
Oh my
it is
goodness.
it is such a pleasure to talk
Likewise.
to you. And, I told you I didn't need much of your time. We had some technical difficulties. I almost choked to death. I'm just glad that we made it together. So, Aaron, thank you for your time. Thank you for your talent. Most of all, thank you for being so approachable, so real, such the professional that you inspire me to be better and not to take the craft for granted. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Glenda. That honestly means so much to me. And thank you for having me. Again, I'm a huge admirer of your work and everything that you've done. So always an honor to get the chat. And I look forward to doing more of this with you guys.
That sounds great. Now, as I always say, my name is Glenda Baker. I'm a real estate agent in Atlanta, Georgia. Send me a text, tag me in a post, give me a call. That's what I love the most because I'd love the opportunity to talk real estate with you today. And Aaron, tell them how they can find you on social.
Absolutely. I'm on virtually every single platform out there. Aaron Grushow Homes. AARON GRUSHOW Homes.
I'm telling you, we do not need the GRU. We just need the show. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Aaron, for your time. Stand by. And ladies and gentlemen, we will see you on the next episode of Glenda's Guru.